Good morning, class. As you have studied in the previous video about the plastids, I have explained you about chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. And now you all know that plastids are present only in plant cell and they are absent in any other cells like animal cell or bacterial cell. Now I want you all to revise these notes in the form of PowerPoint presentation so that you can come across the important points related to these topic. The first I'm going to start with chromoplast. Chromoplast are variously colored plastids. It can be yellow, orange or red. They are mostly present in the petals of flowers and in fruits. Pigments associated with them are xanthophyll, carotene. Now let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is about the anthocyanin pigment. Anthocyanin is the pigment. This pigment is not a part of the chromoplast. It is present in the cell sap of vacuole in dissolved form. It provides purple, blue, violet color to the plant. Now let's move on to the next slide. Leucoplast is a colorless plastid, no pigment, and it stores food. Another now, types of leucoplast. Leucoplast are named according to the food they store. Actually, the types, or we can say the form of leucoplast. If it stores proteins, it is called as proteinoplast. It is also called as eleuroplast, proteoplast, or erulonoplast. Then amyloplast, it stores carbohydrates. Then elioplast, it stores fats. Means when the leucoplast stores protein, it can be called as proteinoplast or eleuroplast or proteoplast or eleuronoplast. If it stores carbohydrate, it can be called as amyloplast, and if it stores fat, it is called as elioplast. Next slide. Now I'm going to do the revision of the topics which you have studied in the previous video. Now the first one is chloroplast. Chloro means green. These are green colored plastids. They have green colored pigment called chlorophyll. Chloroplasts are abundant in parts exposed to light, that is leaves. They also have other pigments such as orange and yellow, but these pigments are masked by large quantities of chlorophyll. This means that chloroplast also contains other pigment. It can also contain carotene because that is also involved in the absorption of light during photosynthesis. So that's why they have said that it also contains other pigments, but because of the large amount of the chlorophyll, the orange and yellow color are masked by the green color. Now their function is to trap the solar energy and absorb carbon dioxide for the manufacture of starch and sugar during photosynthesis. Now chloroplasts contain DNA and have the capacity to divide. Children, I have already explained you that mitochondria and chloroplast, these two are the cell organelles having their own DNA. Now if any structure is having its own DNA, then that structure has the capability to make its copy. That's why they have written they have the capacity to divide. Now why if DNA is present they have the capacity to divide? Because I have explained in central dogma of molecular biology that DNA is the only biomolecule which can make its own copy. That is DNA replication. Okay class, let us move on to the next slide now. The next slide is about the chromoplast. Now chromoplasts are colored plastids. Chromo means color. These are variously colored plastids, yellow, orange and red, mostly present in petals of flowers and in fruits. The coloring substances associated with them are xanthophyll and carotene. Again, in the book it is written that some coloring pigments such as blue, violet and purple are not associated with plastids. Instead, they remain dissolved in the cell sap and give that color to the plant structure. Such pigments are called as anthocyanin. Now children, that's all about the plastids. Thank you. Have a nice day.